We have history, and it ended abruptly, but now is a whole new ball game. Come here, I feel like there's a lot of space.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Kyra. Listen, forgiveness is cheap, but it can be costly when you forgive and reconcile with El Cheapo. Anyway, listen, we're going to break down Kyra and AJ. Yes, she's seemingly forgiven AJ of the El Cheapo madness, but we're going to break down some kind of things that may come along with that. If you just were cussing him for not paying on a date to your friends, how is it if you begin dating? How will he be able to recover your friends in that scenario when you've already trashed him? Let's talk about some real stuff here. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification up, lows. And for those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. Listen, stay hydrated. Listen, make sure you grab your hoodie, Stay hydrated. Grab your hoodie. Loads of you have bought this already. Like, you lot have killed it. Like, honestly, like, I've had the most sales on this hoodie. Like, it's crazy. I don't know what you guys are seeing. You're obviously loving it. So keep on buying it. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's get into the conversation. Let's talk about, obviously, this particular topic with Kyra and AJ. I'm just going to run this across. Guys, if you haven't joined us tonight, we're going to be having our lovely live where you get guys to have your say on Ready to Love. All right, cool. Let's just break down a little something. Let me go back a little bit, okay? Because you guys saw something that you've never seen with Kyra before, and it's this sexy laugh, which she did not do with Jason. She didn't do that with Jason. Look, she laughed with Jason, but this laugh, different, cuz. Let's have a look at this laugh that she's playing.
Now is a whole new ball game. Come here, I feel like there's a lot of space.
Pause. Now, number one, they were having a conversation, and AJ then said to her, listen, look, I feel there's a lot of space between us two. You know what I'm saying? Let's close it down, the space, right? Now, when you do this, what you're actually saying to the other person is, I have confidence, number one, because I'm asking you this. Number two, when you close a space and proximity, it lets the person know how comfortable you are. Whenever you close a space on someone and you are trying to get to know them, the proximity will tell you how comfortable they are with you, number one, and number two, with physical touch. And the reason why I say that is because there are some instances where some people are just not comfortable with space. That's them. There's a minority of those. But the majority of people, when you're dealing with men or women, whenever they close the space, it's a really good indication about how comfortable and how attracted potentially they are to you. Okay, because when you're attracted, you tend to want to draw the person closer and nearer to yourself. Okay. And so we got to see that from AJ and also as well from Kyra. But it's a very confident move for him to draw her in. Very, very confident move. Very, very confident to do so, where you're able to say those words to her, and it's because he knows he has a buy-in with Kyra. Look, the one thing that no matter how much she calls him El Cheapo, she found him attractive. And so long as she found him attractive, this is why when she saw him again, she had to cuss him out because she felt some type of way about him behaving the way he did. He can sense that she finds him still attractive. And so we get this end scene where they're not even holding hands. Look how he's holding her hand. Hey, Jay's never held a hand like that. We never saw, right? And you hear this laugh from her, okay, which just shows this effortless, she's almost giggling like a little kid. She's involved. She's attentive. She understands. She likes him, right? So this situation is looking good for AJ. My one thing is this. Did we not just cuss his Clark? Sorry, did we not cuss him previously? Did we not cuss him previously in the first show saying El Cheapo? Now, here's the thing. If you guys ever did start dating, he's got to do some work to be able to recover the El Cheapo statement. Your friends are always going to remember him as El Cheapo because you labeled him El Cheapo. And then you told us as well, or the audience, how you called him El Cheapo to your friends. So what's going to change? Has his mindset changed to finances? We need to find out. Has he changed his viewpoint towards buying and paying on the first date? Are you going to lay your card down again? We need to find out some really deep things before we even go forward, because we know you already have chemistry. We know you got on well, right? You were enjoying your date. It was only when he didn't. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that, guys. It was only when you were thinking about the fact that, you know what? I'm not sure if I want to date him because you had a worse date because he didn't pay. That's the only reason why, that it was a worse date. He didn't pay. But that was the most important thing to you. So has that changed? That's a quick question to ask Kyra. Kyra, has that changed, right? So let's watch a little bit more. And you see this little put here, all right?
So we got a history, but I've kept an eye on you.
Man said, listen, we've got a history, but I've kept my eye on you. Of course he's kept an eye on you, right? He's always found you attractive. This attraction has never gone away from these two, right? And in relationships, when you are attracted to somebody, that part of you always stays, right? Unless you're completely turned off, which she wasn't. She was just annoyed, okay? Annoyed at the fact that obviously, yes, he had basically, in a sense, I guess, not done what he's meant to do on a date or whatever. But other than that, she's ready to go. She would love to go. She would love another date. She would love to be with him again. Okay, right? So these two are connecting differently. And I think if it was come down between AJ and Jason, she would choose AJ all the time. Tall, dark, handsome, engineer, etc., etc. She says it herself. Listen to the words that she says in her little cut thing.
I don't think that I was like immediately, hey, let me be on Kyra. But now I'm gonna tell you now, here, like, you're the top people that I'm trying to get to know.
My guy said, listen, you're the top person I'm trying to get to know. Stacey got dash off. I thought it was going to be Stacey. I thought it'd be Stacey. But Stacey got dashed. All right? Like it's clueless. She got dashed. I'm clueless. Where did this, obviously, again, they cut a lot of things. So where did this sudden switch around come along? You're his number one. Right? Never reached out to you previously behind the scenes. Never apologized for his behavior beforehand until the show. And you trust him now that he's changed around. Right? So we got to trust that. All right, cool. So we're trusting that, right? So now he's made you his number one. Does Kyra truly believe he's number one? How can she trust that he's been number one if you have the past that you guys have had? Man came out of pocket when he decided not to pay for the date and you were a bit frustrated by that. How can we trust that really is what his sentiments and thoughts are, right? Like I thought he was on Stacey, I'm not gonna lie to you. And he's a topic of a lot of people in the group. I kind of knew that Kyra was always going to go back to him, right? Kyra likes to be desired. Right? She likes to be desired. She likes to chase. She likes a man to want her. She wants the man that is confident, that is assertive, that's dominant. And AJ is that alpha male. Like I said, in this group, AJ carries an alpha male status. I don't know if he's alpha male outside of this group, but I definitely think in a group, in this setting, he is an alpha type of male. All the women seem to be drawn towards him. His height, his good looks, his good beard, sheening quite rightly. He is that guy that the girls are wanting. Right. And so Kyra collecting him is a big scalp. Kyra's, I don't sense Kyra being desperate or anything. I'm just saying it's a big scalp for her to collect AJ amongst all the other suitors that are on there. Right. But again, just watch this as well. Look at that smile. Does that smile look like somebody who is, listen, my girl wants to be courted and loved and appreciated by the finest wines out there.
Look at you.
You see, even look at that head drop. Schoolgirl giggles, bro. Schoolgirl giggles. That is done when attraction and chemistry connect. When attraction and chemistry you connect, irrespective of whether content is great, that creates that impression. That creates that thing. Until you are sick and got the ick, until you got the ick, you are going to have those reactions to that person because you find them attractive and the chemistry is right. Right? When she gets the ick and she's fully sick and tired of AJ, this reaction won't happen. But it's always going to happen so long as you find that person attractive. Do you feel what I'm saying? Right? So if you're dating, you've got to be aware of this. Attraction is going to outlast most times outlast the relationship. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? Just don't be governed by the attraction and the chemistry. It's the content of the man or the woman that's important that you need to pay attention to whether you want to make that move in the future again. And going back to somebody obviously you've dated previously and didn't work out, again, it's almost like going back to an ex. It oftentimes, it's very difficult to, because you're going to see the same things that will happen in the first time. Oftentimes are going to happen now. I mean, there has to be a massive change of direction or something happening to make this seem viable for Kyra to continue going forward with AJ. She needs to see something completely different, right? Because remember, the last thing it can't be that you're going back over the same issues. Otherwise, why go back? You know, nothing's kind of changed. So it'll be interesting to watch them too. But watch what she says, which is really interesting.
When I look at AJ, I see a guy who is about his business. He's well educated. He's an engineer. When he can let...
I want to pause there. See what she said there? Well educated, he's an engineer, he's about his business. Those are the things that are really attracting her. About his business, educated engineer. Okay, so he holds a good job, he's educated, and he's about his business. Women like drive, they like the ambition, they like the man that's on job, they like the man that's on his purpose, that man that's on the road to success. People can buy into that, right? Like, women always talk about how it's about the journey and about the man striving for that. They want to see a continuous momentum. And I've always said this, flowing water is attractive, but water that stands still isn't. Why? Because when you look at a stream, you often see bears and kingfishers and fishes in the sea as in the stream and stuff like that, right? You see how this movement becomes attractive to different wildlife. And the reason why is because it stays fresh. When water moves, it stays fresh. When you're on the go, when you're on the move as a man, when you stick to purpose and you move, right? And you run. Like, if you've ever seen somebody run past you at speed, you've asked yourself the question, wait, why are they running so fast? Where are they going? It creates mystery. It creates questions in a person's mind, right? When you see that person running so fast in a public space or whatever, right? That's the equivalent of someone who's on job, right? And they're going somewhere, and you want to know where they're going. Why are they in such a rush? Why are they pushing so quickly to get where they need to get to? What's their story? That's what it creates. It creates the natural inquisition and the inquiry, and that's what you want. You want to create a mystery of inquisition from the other party. Who is he? What is he about? Like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, they want that from you, right? Where does a mindset come from? Yeah, feel me. All right, continue.
Down that whole BS persona, we have good conversations. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how this continues to blossom.
She's smiling a bit too much. She is smiling a bit too much. She wants to say, see, here's my thing. This is my caution. Now, I know she wants to be able to get past the persona of, you know, him being on the ball, BS and stuff like that. Has he got past that persona though? That's the key part, right? Obviously, she's going to have to see it go through a little bit and see if he has, but has he got past that part? Secondly, does she think that she's going to be the one to also draw down that wall? If she is thinking that, that's where we also have to say, sis, please vacate to the left and evacuate and lift out your parachute as you jump out the plane, because you cannot change the man. The walls that he's built up, listen, it's not for you to tear down. When I say tear down, in the sense, look, we all have walls that we have to break, right? With our partners. But you don't want to be in a position where you're trying to tear down walls that can't be torn down by you. They are impregnable walls, right? You don't want to be in that position. You want to be in a place where a person's open and ready to have a discussion with you and tear down some walls with you, right? And obviously they will do some personal work themselves. But if you're trying to tear down immovable walls, things that won't change, that's where you'll have an issue going forward. So I hope that's not going to be the case for them too. But hey, you know, we're rooting to see how it goes. Forgiveness is a beautiful thing.
Come on, we can race. You said you're a great skater. Okay.
And so we see their particular date. You know, and it was short lived, but it's interesting because I think it was later on when AJ talks about how with Kyra. Let me just get the post for you guys. You know, I want to get the AJ talks about Kyra and saying about how he feels, right? So let's get it up, right?
And also keep you honest and ask you questions. You know, I got to see something about that.
Okay.
Jason looked hella sad. Here's why. Because he knows he can't win the battle between him and AJ. Unless AJ messes up, AJ is going to be chosen. That's why he looks sad. Jason looks sad because he knows that he has to compete with AJ. And if he has to compete with AJ, Kyra already has a history with AJ, right? Let's just go back a little bit so you can go and we can catch it a little bit, right? Yeah, let's catch it a little bit.
Any woman that could show forgiveness and also keep you honest and ask you questions. You know, I got to see something about that.
Okay.
Jason looks finished. He looks finished. Why? Because he's got to compete now, right? He's got to compete for that woman. And I've always said this. Listen, man, there are so many fish in the sea. Okay, dry your eyes, mate. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, there are so many fishes in the sea. Don't feel downhearted if one guy likes the girl that you like and is going to end up winning the battle. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you saw what we saw last season. Last season, we saw Jay, we saw Kyle Farney, we saw Brian. If you watch the way Jay moved with an intellect, he moved on his own level. He didn't fight no man for the girl. It wasn't even a fight between him and Anthony over Winter. He always won because he knows what battles to fight. Same with Jason. Jason, pick your battles. You've chosen a girl potentially going to have a battle for. Are you ready for the war? If you're ready for the war, fantastic, go ahead. If you've gone for the war, go for it. Which is why I think he's switched a little bit of his allegiance to Liz as well, to see how he can collect, because he ditched Alexis straight away. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. AJ and Kyra. What's your thoughts on AJ and Kyra? I mean, how do you guys feel about AJ and Kyra? Are they going to be a great couple? Are they going to be a great team, do you think? I mean, another thing is also as well the fact that because she's called him El Cheapo to the friends. I don't know how he recovers that if they get into such a relationship. You know what I mean? Like you got to do the complete opposite now. Can you do that? Is he capable of going the complete opposite way and showing that he's not El Cheapo? Not only that, will she always hold that thought in her mind that you're El Cheapo? And anytime that you don't pay or you don't, give money, or you don't buy something expensive or buy something of a certain value to her, will you now be labeled El Cheapo after that? Just something you got to consider. Just something you got to consider. But I think Kyra and I think AJ are pretty cool people. Do you feel what I'm saying? No beef. I just want to explain that. So guys, like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button notification of what up. Lows, we appreciate you. Stay hydrated. Grab yourself some water because the streets are what? Hot. The streets are what? Hot. Stay hydrated. Appreciate